Hello, once again, Dr. Scientist here. I still get a kick out of that name. Still makes me laugh, and that's why I picked it. So, yeah, speaking of science, today I will be giving out my award for Scientist of the Century, which is also kind of a funny title. Completely arbitrary, of course, like all opinions. Maybe you have a different one in mind, but for me, there's no greater scientist from the last century than Nikola Tesla. Was a Serbian American scientist, born in Serbia, but then worked most of his life in the U.S. He came over and actually worked for Thomas Edison for a bit before branching out on his own and making a name for himself. Speaking of names, many people at the moment are more familiar with Tesla being the name of a car company. However, I see that as sort of an homage and a slight at the same time, since when you know more about Tesla's technology, it's not really in the same league as this, the battery powered electric cars that are driving all around. Not that I have a problem with them. I think they're nice looking and generally better than a lot of mainstream cars. But when it comes to the scientist, his work was dealing in things more like free energy and health and healing devices, weather manipulation and modification, weaponry even. Um, but his influence is expansive. I mean, he was more responsible for the creation and invention of radio than Marconi, and that's an unfortunate thing that throughout history, sometimes people are given credit where it is not due in order to sweep someone under the rug and make others less aware of them, because Tesla truly was influential. So many of the devices and the technology that exists now on this planet is due to him. We're all using electricity right now, me to record this and you to watch it. And he was, he was a proponent of AC or alternating current, whereas Thomas Edison was more direct current, which, has its place and its use, but AC is more predominantly used. And aside from his inventions, his general brilliance is astounding and generally regarded by many as very influential. He was actually called the father of the 20th century. And if that doesn't tell you something, well, it's pretty obvious how influential he is. And it's also pretty interesting that I was never taught about Nikola Tesla in school. I had to learn about him on the streets, the hard way. No, through my own research, I mean. But yeah, it's kind of telling when he's not generally mentioned in a lot of mainstream schools, at least when I was growing up decades ago. Hopefully that's changed to some degree, but I still know people who aren't as aware of him. They're more familiar with Tesla being the name of, the car company rather than the person. This is my attempt to remedy that and spread knowledge of the man as well, more so. I know a lot of people are already familiar with him, but again, some aren't. So I can't teach everyone, just those who need to hear this, who haven't learned it already for themselves yet. So besides Tesla's inventions, his general brilliance is regarded by many to be exceptional. His imagination in particular, the way he would build things, was visualizing them in his mind, tinkering with his devices that way first, so that he would only have to build them once correctly, instead of troubleshooting and trial and error like a lot of inventors and engineers do. It's much more efficient. It's like the old carpentry and construction adage, measure twice, cut once. Well, he would be visualizing constantly, many times, not just twice, but and then building once. So it's a very efficient method of building and creation. So I recommend others following that model. And even what many consider to be a great scientist, Einstein, said imagination is more important than knowledge. Well, Tesla's imagination was exceptional. And so was his work. Speaking of which, what happened to his work after he died? It's unfortunate that he died rather impoverished and in poor health as well. He was taken advantage of. Uh, he was not given his proper due for how influential and inventive and creative he was. And a lot of his work was destroyed, in particular Wardenclyffe Tower. he built a free energy tower to transmit wireless energy to people. And when the financier J.P. Morgan found out about it, he destroyed the tower because he wanted people to pay him for it. And it wasn't just him. There are others like him who feel their need to dominate and control and manage others and media and energy and to make money off of it. They're more about profits rather than people. So it's not just him. There are many others like him, but it's unfortunate because he sort of, because people like that sort of hold us all back by preventing progress for their own profit. So, if Tesla's inventions were so great, what happened to them after he died? Well, interestingly enough, John Trump, who was the uncle of Donald Trump, was quite a recognized scientist in his own right. He apparently was acquainted with Tesla. He actually got some of his work upon his death. And from my understanding, a lot of Tesla's work went into black budget projects and secret space programs like Solar Warden, Radiant Guardian, and many others with many different names. So they've been in use by many other people, just they've been kept from the general public on this planet. Things like anti-gravity, what people would call anti-gravity drives, which really is creating its own gravity field in a localized area. Teslatron units for health and healing, weaponry as well. Because Tesla understood that everything is frequencies and vibrations, energy. And he also understood the importance of the numbers 3, 6, and 9 as fundamental to the structure of existence. Now, math isn't the only way to interpret existence, but it's one way that people use. Geometry is another means for interpreting existence, physical reality. But math can be used as well as a measurement of things. So 3, 6, and 9 are sort of like building blocks for physical reality of existence. So Nikola Tesla is just an all-around brilliant guy, super influential in all of our lives. I wouldn't be able to be sharing this with you right now if it weren't for his works. And so I encourage more people to know about him and to emulate him, to be like him. Of course, you can only be more like yourself, but having a good role model doesn't hurt. And that is why he is my choice for Scientist of the Century. You may have your opinion as well. Feel free to share it in the comments below for your particular choice. I've made another video about the relationship between the man Tesla and the car company, so I'll leave a link to that. And as always, please like and subscribe and share with others. I appreciate any support you can give me, since I don't have a job at the moment. I don't have any income either. As of this recording, these channels that I have made aren't generating any income. So I don't know if you can tell, my camera that I'm using isn't the best quality. Its autofocus is kind of wonky. It's blurry sometimes, and it's actually caused me to have to re-record some videos because I've noticed later that they were too blurry. So yeah, I'm not very rich in money, but I am quite rich in knowledge and love. So even a couple simple clicks can help. Thanks to YouTube's ad revenue sharing program that others seem to be very successful at, and maybe I can be too, as I have literally made a name for myself, and a funny one at that. Again, I enjoy the name Dr. Scientist. I think it's funny. So I'm a slightly less serious doctor and scientist than a lot of others are out there. But that's fine, love and light to them as well. They apparently haven't learned that the secret to enlightenment is to lighten up and to not be so serious all the time. Lightening up literally raises your vibration, expands your consciousness, raises your gratitude and appreciation for everything you have. My intention is to enlighten and enhance other people's lives. But of course, you have to do your own research, do your own learning. Others can only teach you so much. No one else can teach you as much as you can teach yourself by research and by doing. Learn by doing, let's say. Thank you for watching, and infinite love and light as always.